InvestEngine is a new investing option to me. I hadn't heard of these guys until a few weeks ago, so I thought I'd sign up, have a look around and put together a quick review of the services and see if they're worth your time and energy. And spoiler alert, I think they are. I'm going to go through a little bit about what they offer, a couple of the key sign up points, services that they're offering that perhaps other investing apps are not, and a couple of thoughts on where I think they might be coming up a little bit short, depending of course on what it is you're looking for from your investing. Right away, I want to let you know that this is not a sponsored video. I have a link below you can use to sign up and get yourself 50 quid when you invest £100 of your own money, which is pretty darn good compared to some of its competitors. So if you get some value from what you see in this video, or you just want to support the channel, I would very much appreciate that click. So of course, I'm David from prettypenny.club. Let's just get into it. So landing on their website, we see that InvestEngine are proclaiming more part of your money, smart investment portfolios that cost you less and give you more. For too long, in my opinion, the investment scene has been blighted by high fees and complicated charges. That's been tempered somewhat recently by a new breed of trading apps such as Trading212 or Freetrade. So any services that profess low cost to keep more of your own money in your own pocket has got my attention. We'll come to fees in just a minute, but let's see what they have to offer. Two options in the main. You can build your own portfolio out from a choice of over 150 ETFs covering a range of stock markets, bonds, commodities, and including ESG, which is very popular these days, and thematic choices. Won't cost you a penny other than the associated charges with the ETFs. So this is all very cool, entirely free if you want to manage your own portfolio. Going with this DIY option allows you to set your own weights and your allocations in a portfolio. It's a little bit like Trading212's pies and comes with a nice one-click rebalancing option along with other features to help you stay on top of your investments. The other option is to have your portfolio managed for you, where you answer a few short questions about what kind of risk you want to take, what kind of investor you are, and the nice people at InvestEngine will build you out a portfolio and look after the day-to-day running for just 0.25% per year. By comparison, Vanguard's very popular life strategy funds are around this sort of cost too, at around 0.22% or perhaps a little bit more. So the fees for the convenience of InvestEngine looking after your investments are very low. Lower fees means more money in your pocket. Good stuff. So when you're getting started with InvestEngine, you want to choose which kind of portfolio you want. And I had an explore with the self-managing options, and all the usual characters one might expect were in there. The S&P 500 options from iShares, for example, or Vanguard's ETFs, and to be fair, lots of others I wasn't really that familiar with. But someone who has a strong grasp of what they're looking for could play around in there for ages and have a great time. InvestEngine are professing easy managed accounts for a low cost, so that's what I want to see. That seems to be their USP, if you like. So on choosing the managed option, you can choose between two broad strokes of growth or income. I understand what they're getting at here. Their growth option is typically more volatile, but with potential for higher returns over a long term, and they aim to have their income portfolios a little bit more reliable and indeed offering fairly regular income paid to you directly. I was interested in seeing what they were both like, so I created two portfolios, one for growth and one for income. You can create as many portfolios as you want, it seems, although I haven't been able to figure out how to remove any that I don't actually want. It's not a particularly big deal anyway, you aren't obliged to fund them, so you can play around with answering the discovery questions and see what kind of portfolios InvestEngine can come up with for you. So that's how InvestEngine tailor your portfolio for you through a little questionnaire with various different questions about you as an investor. You can answer these however you like, and I'll come back to the kind of thing they are, but to be honest, it's best just to answer these questions honestly, I'd imagine, because that way you can help InvestEngine help you by allowing them to match a portfolio to your risk and for your appetite for investing. Because I've talked about this on the channel before, there is no amount of cool investing strategy that will beat a good night's sleep. So remember, when you're investing, nothing is guaranteed. You can make money, you can lose money, markets go up and down. Go in with your eyes open and understand that your capital is at risk, and if in any doubt, of course, speak to a professional. So like I say, give yourself the best chance for your investment to be successful by helping InvestEngine to set you up with a plan that suits your needs and investing personality, if you like. So the questions were similar to what I've seen before. How much do you plan to invest? How much of your income that is as a percentage? What age you are? How long you want to invest? They ask how you would feel if the market were suddenly to dip. And generally they're trying to get a feel for what your risk appetite is in a simple way without all the jargon that is sometimes in absolute abundance in this field. So after choosing an income portfolio to start with, then at the end of their little questionnaire, it only took a couple of minutes to complete, I was presented with my personalised portfolio. So it was interesting to me to see that their recommendation for this portfolio came back entirely made up of bonds, returning an estimated 2.9% per year. It doesn't seem particularly high, but then this is supposed to be a fairly stable option, and to be honest, we are still comfortably beating a high street savings rate here for a return. Looking at the projections tab, InvestEngine are giving you a best estimate as to how much money will be returned to you and when. So if you are the sort to enjoy planning and budgeting, and let's face it, who isn't, then this will likely appeal to you. Still in the projections tab then, you can change this recommendation by experimenting with the slider. So sliding it slightly to the right for more risk introduces 25% of stocks, which would hopefully yield a better return, but as I say, carries more associated risk. If you decide you want to amend your risk at any time during your investing life, you can just click that apply button after you've moved the slider, and this means your portfolio will be updated to reflect your new choice. It's pretty cool that it's so easy, and yet the warnings are still so prominent. I really feel like InvestEngine have hit a great balance here between usability and protecting people from getting carried away. It's not often you see an investing or trading platform offer words of caution, and it is refreshing to see. So I created myself a growth portfolio too, and the process was just about the same, with questions very similar to the income portfolio questions, but this time the portfolio put together was almost entirely made up of stocks, and there was a small percentage allocated to bonds and only a couple of percent to gold and silver. So it was nice to see that your responses to these questions do matter, and there are very different portfolios being put together depending on how you answer those questions. So just like the income portfolio, you can see the allocation, and the stocks bought might well be some you recognise from other apps, things like the S&P 500 and the FTSE Developed World ETF from Vanguard and so on. However, in this projection tab, we have a little calculator that aims to show how consistent investment and compounding might reward you over a particular period of time. So just playing around with these sliders and getting a feel for some figures in the boxes, you can see that investing as much as you can for as long a period as you can could really send your portfolio parabolic in the final years. It's all projections, of course, nothing guaranteed at all, and I like the way they try to manage expectation with the color-coded chart. So what about these fees? I kind of touched on them earlier. How are InvestEngine going to charge you for all this cool stuff? Well, for a managed portfolio, there is a 0.25% annual fee, and there is the spread and the costs of the ETFs that go into a portfolio. So on a £20,000 portfolio, you could be expecting to pay somewhere around the order of £94 a year. It's peanuts really. So as I say, ETFs will carry their own variable charges, and InvestEngine are very upfront about this, where other platforms perhaps aren't. Also, there is a buy and sell spread to consider, and again, InvestEngine are very upfront about this when others bury it, and there are probably a lot of investors out there who don't even consider it because it's not front and center in some of the other apps. Anyway, as a long-term buy and hold type of guy in index funds and ETFs, this doesn't really come into my thinking too much. If you want to manage your own portfolio, then there is no 0.25% annual fee. There are no setup costs, there are no deposit fees, there are no withdrawal fees, there are no dealing fees, and there are no extra charges if you want to set up an ISA. So where do I think InvestEngine falls short? Well, there's no individual stocks to buy, and that's probably a bit of a double-edged sword because people can get very carried away with reading some news and buying stocks on hype or selling on impulse and that kind of thing. InvestEngine are very much going down the route of long-term investing, I believe, with the availability of all the ETFs and the index funds that are available there. If you are interested in trading individual stocks, then at least for the moment, InvestEngine probably is not for you. But then if every app was all the same, then we wouldn't need all these different variations that are available to us. And where InvestEngine really excels is its simplicity, its simple cost structure, and it's very, very easy to get investing, particularly with no fees eroding away at small investors. That might be the market they're really going for here. It remains to be seen if these prices or the product offerings are some way impacted or changed over time, but all in all, this is a very, very competitive package. It's easy to use, it's well explained. There's a superb FAQ section where you can read more about InvestEngine and have your questions answered. And that makes this one of the most user-friendly platforms I've ever seen. They are, of course, regulated here in the UK by the Financial Conduct Authority, and they take part in the Financial Services Compensation Scheme, so investments are protected up to £85,000. You couple this with an amazing sign-up offer of £50 when you invest 100, and I really like what they're doing here. It's easy to follow, there's no deposit transaction fees, as I say. It makes it easy to start investing with small amounts of money, knowing that your money won't be eroded by any sort of fixed costs or crazy management fees. I'm impressed. I'll be watching their progress with interest, and I'll probably add some more money to play around with. So here we are in the My Dashboard section of InvestEngine, and a couple of days have passed since I opened this account. So I first of all created my income portfolio here, and that is where they have deposited their £50 bonus into. I originally put £100 into my growth portfolio here, and I've since topped that up with 536. So we can have a wee look at that. See, we're still processing this payment because I only made it today. So there are stats for what you've contributed all time, yearly, monthly, and to be honest, since the account's only a couple of days old, it all looks the same. But I just wanted to show you that they are true to their word. They have deposited this £50 bonus straight into my account within a couple of days. And in fact, that went in before my £100 deposit actually cleared. So they will take that back out if you don't top up £100 within the first 30 days. So be mindful of that. The £50 is yours. If you don't top up £50, they take your £50 plus whatever you might have earned on it. I think that's in the small print. Of course, you know, I'm into investing for the long term. So the £50 bonus was nice, but I wasn't ever going to just try and take the money and run. So if you are interested in getting yourself £50 for investing £100 for 12 months, then definitely have a look at my link below. You can log in, you can sign up, you can create a portfolio. You're not obliged to dump any money in there at all, but have a play around. I think it is a good product. I think it's well explained, and I think it is useful for all kinds of people, whether you're getting started or whether indeed you want to create your own portfolios. There is an ISA option as well, of course, if you haven't used that. And yeah, I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on this as we go forwards. If there's anything else you'd like to see on InvestEngine or any questions you have, leave a comment below. Don't forget to leave a like if you got some value from this, and don't forget to use the link below to get yourself £50 when you open an account. And please consider subscribing if you found this sort of content useful. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.